Another beautiful day in the Impala. Probably need to do something in this general area, because even though those two things right there look like cup holders, they're definitely not cup holders. Because anybody who has one of these horrible OEM center console 9C1 cup holders knows that as soon as you touch the brake pedal or turn the wheel or even attempt to move the car, whatever you put in there will fall over immediately. And welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to correct this little cup holder problem, because it has been driving me nuts. Anytime I drive this thing anywhere and I try to take a drink, a bottle of water, anything, it always falls out of the cup holder. And on top of that, if you may or may not have noticed, right here I've got an armrest. So pretty much the only thing that'll fit under there is like cans of soda, which will again flip and fall out of there. And pretty much anything else that has any kind of height to it, like a water bottle, soda bottle, taller coffee cup, tumblers, anything like that, just won't fit. They just won't fit. Anyway, this right here, this piece of metal, is a leftover remnant of when this vehicle used to be a sheriff's car. And did a little bit of research and discovered that it was, I guess that's the base plate for a Havis center console. So what did I do? Well, let's go take a look in the trunk. Popped her open. Popped her open. Alright, so first things first. I was going to show you guys this stuff in the trunk out there, but the lighting's really weird because it's super bright outside. But this piece right here actually attaches to that lower bracket, that base mount for the console. So this is kind of a shallow console box. And, well, here's one of the mounting brackets. So basically you're supposed to kind of put this mounting bracket next to it, bolt this to the side, and then bolt this mounting bracket to the base plate. And if anybody's curious, this is apparently the part number for that. I don't know if this is still an active part number. It might be discontinued. Bought this bad boy off of where else? eBay for like 30 bucks. So obviously it's not cheap, so it is a console, and if I actually wanted to, I could actually put a plate across here or whatever you want across here. But basically I'm going to use about half of this console, and I might actually build a box in the other half that I can just drop stuff into. That way I have somewhere to, you know, drop stuff in a center console instead of, you know, on the floor. And then we got cup holder. So this is a Havis cup holder. So these are the actual cup holders themselves. And then this piece right here is the upper bracket. It kind of lays in this general area, pretty solid. And then this thing kind of, you know, snaps into there. I haven't pushed it all the way down, but you get the idea. And if you're curious, that it happens to be the part number for this. And yeah, also eBay purchase. So let's get some wrenches and try to put this thing together. Another thing that's kind of cool is because I bought these as, you know, new in box, it actually came with mounting hardware. So this will actually kind of look proper, like it was supposed to be there, which is kind of cool. What I do find kind of weird is that this one only comes with one mounting bracket, and there might, I don't know if you're supposed to have another one, but what I'm thinking is maybe use this maybe on this side to lock it down in place, and then put this on this side to make the opposite side a bit more rigid, so you only really need that one mounting point. I guess if I was really feeling crazy, I could go buy another one of these little angle brackets. And I was looking around online, and it looks like there's kind of like a C-shaped bracket that can go underneath that would actually hook into these little side, these little nuts that are hiding in here. If I find that this one bracket isn't enough to kind of hold it in place, I may go get that other C-shaped bracket that goes underneath. But we'll see. We'll just go ahead and mount it like this. I'll go full Florida man and see what happens. one thing I'm noticing with these Havis parts is, so I've got 2 larger bolts, 2 larger nuts, 2 smaller bolts, 2 smaller nuts, and then these 4 Torx head. I think they said it's a T20. I don't know if it can focus on it. The lighting's kind of weird, but it's a T20 Torx head. And I think these 4 T20s go into the top of this to mount it into that center, I guess the low profile center console piece. So I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and stuff those in there and see if there's anything else I got to do. And there are some instructions that actually came with this, but maybe I should look at those. Maybe. Yeah. Guess I better go find a T20 Torx head. Yeah. Torx. Oh! This one. Yeah. See? Torx. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this cup holder on this side. I'm going to leave this side open. And when I put this between the seats, I'll keep the Havis logo pointed back so that people can see what it is. So when eventually somebody says, what the heck is that? I can go, it's a Havis, because I'll probably forget. Alright, so I just popped the plastic down, and the reason why I did that is in case there's any overlap with the side plastic, so I can butt it right up against it, and then put my 4 Torx head bolts, well, screws, bolts, whatever you want to call them, down in the holes. And it looks like they're going to self-tap into this side little piece right here, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so the first thing I noticed is, yeah, you got to get these things lined up pretty straight because they do self-tap. So as long as you get them in there straight, then after a few strokes, they go in nice and smooth. Yeah, there you go. First one. I'll do the other 3 and then see what it looks like. Alright, so there you go. This thing's nice and rigid now. And then I got this little spot up here that I think I might fill this in on this side just to have like a little catch area that I can just kind of drop stuff into. But I might not have to unless I worry about really small stuff slipping by. But if I keep larger things in there, I might not have to put little walls or anything in here. But we will see. Time will tell. So for the console part that came out of the bigger box, Havis is just amazing. Look at all these bolts they give you. All kinds of nuts, bolts, screws. I think the big screws there, I don't know if you can see that real well with the pointed tips. Those, I think if you're going to bolt this into like the floorboard of your car or anchor it, I think that's what those are for. But then they got a bunch of different size bolts and a bunch of nuts. And then they've got these guys, I think these are called lag bolts. The rounded end actually goes into the base plate and points upward, and then you use the little, I don't know what you call those things, the nuts with the extra piece there. Those actually come down and bolt into those so that you can lock it down onto your base plate. And then they've got washers and lock washers and more nuts and bolts, so and then nylon washers and all kinds of just, you know, stuff. So depending on how you want to configure it, you got all kinds of extra pieces to make this stuff work. So good job, Havis, man. Good job, guys. Gonna make this install a lot easier than it could be. I was wondering if I was gonna have to go find nuts and bolts and stuff, and I got more than I know what to do with, which is good because this car also has a Havis console. So yeah, not gonna complain. Matter of fact, I think this cup holder is the same in the Crown Vic. I think, not sure. So I went online real quick and just kind of found a general install guide for some center console stuff, just to kind of see if there was any diagrams, because I'm probably not going to read all that. But this kind of shows you general idea of how to configure this stuff, and that is that little C-shaped bracket I was talking about that I'm not sure if I actually need it or not. But it actually shows the little L bracket kind of at the back end of this thing. Mounting it down, so we will see. I got to think about how I want to do that, but it looks like, you know, basically bolt, washer, nut. So might be good if I use maybe one of those lock washers to help, you know, keep some pressure on it so the thing, the actual screw, or not the screws, the nuts don't back off. But yeah, I think I'm gonna try slapping this thing together real quick and try to see if I can't get it in the car. So before actually looking at the instructions, I was thinking maybe these little carriage bolts would kind of hook in here, but they don't fit. However, if you take the little hex head guys and slide them in there, they fit pretty nicely. So looks like I'm going to need to get a couple of little hex head bolts out of that package. Alright, so it looks like I got a couple different options here, depending on how I want to do this. I can slide this thing all the way forward and kind of reverse mount that L bracket, which may or may not be the way it's supposed to be done, but it gives kind of a clean install. Or I can slide it back just a little bit and put this L bracket on the outside the way it sort of looks like in the drawing. So then I've got kind of like a cubby right here, and then the two drink holders, which I think might be probably a better way to do that, because then at some point what I can do is actually lay like a piece of plastic in here and put another piece of plastic back here, and then I have a nice little cubby right here to just kind of drop stuff in. I don't have to worry about it falling in those little grates. And then yeah, maybe that'll work. Maybe I'll do that. That looks like it might work pretty nicely. And then I still have easy access to these bolts and take this thing on and off pretty quickly if I want to. Yeah, we'll give that a shot. I think according to the drawing, it kind of looks like maybe that L bracket should be on this side, but in the grand scheme of things, I think if I tighten that down good enough, I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot. Florida man. Alright, so here's the configuration I think I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with a couple of the little short bolts stuffed in here. You can see them sticking up, and then these nuts on top. We'll tighten this down if it'll let me. Kind of hard to do this one-handed. I'm sure you guys hear that a lot whenever you see a YouTuber trying to do anything and film at the same time. Oop. Help if I had the wrench set right too. I'll go ahead and twisty, twisty, twisty. Ah, there we go. Alright, so I got the L bracket in, and now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and tighten another one of these short bolts. And I'm doing a washer on this side because this gap right here is kind of big and just want it to have a little bit better of a bite. And then I'm doing a lock washer on this side with a nut. And going to need two hands for that, so I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright guys, so here we go. Got a cup holder right here in the center. I mean, if I kind of really push on it, it kind of moves a little bit, but I think this will be alright. I mean, there's definitely no forward and backwards movement of this. Might be better if I did another L bracket on this side, but I think this will be alright. Now I've got this kind of spot right here. This wouldn't be good for small objects, but if you had something larger that you just wanted to drop in here, I think it would work pretty good. You got the seats on either side, and you got kind of this gap. I think this is roughly 8 inches, something like that, but there we go. A proper cup holder. If I was feeling real crazy, I just realized I still have this little cover piece that I got in one of those Crown Rick Auto mystery boxes. So I could actually put a cover plate over that if I wanted to. Or I could go get another pair of cup holders and put it in the front part of this, and then I'd have 4 cup holders for, I don't know, too many people. So 4 cup holders and 2 fake ones. But right now I have 4 as it is. Yeah, 2 fake cup holders, 2 good cup holders. Oh yeah. So there you go. Perfectly good cup holder. Now I can use that for something else, like, I don't know, not cups. There you go. Good cup holder, extra little storage area that I can drop stuff in, and, you know, like I said, if I put something flat in here, that'll actually be a lot more useful, because then I can put really small stuff in there and it won't, you know, disappear on me. But there you go. And for those of you keeping track of the various modifications on this particular vehicle, we have LED spotlight. This is a leather wrap steering wheel with audio controls, with the capability, I think, of doing some kind of Bluetooth stuff. But this is actually a whole nother video right here of just swapping the steering wheel out. So if you guys have an Impala, these are all mix and match. All you gotta do is plug and play. So, oh, and I forgot about this thing. My LED light right here. That was something else I modified in this car. And then there's just the bunch of other random little things, you know, fixing trim pieces, door moldings. I think I even did the inner part of the wheel well. And I suppose pointing the camera in the right place. But yeah, there you go. So there is a quick video on how to get yourself a cup holder if you have the base plate in your car, and kind of looks like it belongs there. Like maybe the car came this way with it, but I like it. I think it looks good, and I think it's solid. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for checking it out. Love to each and every one of you, and I'll catch you on the next video. As this video goes on, and you see me start to glisten, that's why. It is a balmy 96 degrees in the workshop. I should really consider insulating this area and like putting some AC units in here because, ooh, it's toasty. And I can't really run those fans because they sound like aircraft turbines. They're loud.